This is Amoy Street. This street was named after the city of Xiamen, formerly Amoy in China. Amoy Street was historically a residential and commercial hub for Chinese immigrants, particularly the Hokkien community. The street is lined with beautifully restored shophouses. Many of them date back to the colonial era. These shophouses blend European architectural styles with traditional Chinese design. The green wooden shutters are typical of colonial-era shophouses. Louvers allow for ventilation while keeping the interior shaded and private, essential in the hot and humid climate of Singapore. They were designed to control airflow without sacrificing protection from the sun. At the top of these buildings, notice the overhanging eaves and clay roof tiles, which are typical of traditional Chinese architecture. These roofs were designed to shield the building from tropical downpours while offering additional shading. Over the years, Amoy Street has evolved into a trendy dining destination, offering a variety of food choices, from local hawker fare at Amoy Street Food Center to upscale restaurants and cafes. It's a foodie's paradise for both traditional and modern cuisine. This is the Thian Hock Keng mural, a 40-meter-long mural painted on the wall of a 177-year-old temple. The mural depicts the journey of early Hokkien immigrants to Singapore. The journey to Singapore involved crossing the South China Sea, often aboard crowded and unsafe ships known as junk boats. These boats were typically old, overpacked with passengers, and ill-equipped for long voyages, making the journey dangerous. Upon reaching Singapore, the immigrants were typically dropped off along the Singapore River, where much of the trading and labor activities took place. However, arriving in Singapore was only the beginning of a new set of challenges. Many of these immigrants had no money, and they were often recruited as indentured laborers or coolies, working under difficult conditions for low pay. Some were also taken advantage of by unscrupulous employers or middlemen, who promised jobs but delivered harsh working environments with little compensation. This part shows the grand procession that took place in 1840 to celebrate the arrival of the statue of Mazu, the goddess of the sea. The procession was held every 3 years until 1935. This sculpture depicts a Chinese lantern procession. Such processions are held during Chinese festivals, with streets decorated with vibrant flags and banners. Performers in bright costumes parade through the streets, captivating thousands of spectators with acrobatic displays. This park is a reminder of Singapore's early days when Telok Ayer was a coastal road. Telok Ayer means bay water in Malay, and it was once the shoreline where boats from China docked. These days, it is a popular spot for office workers to unwind during lunch breaks or after work. This is the Temple of Heavenly Jade Emperor. Built in 1977, this is one of Singapore's prominent Taoist temples. The Jade Emperor is believed to be the ruler of heaven and all the celestial realms, overseeing gods, spirits, and the mortal world. According to tradition, the Jade Emperor conducts an annual review of mortals' deeds, typically during the Lunar New Year. Devotees believe that the Jade Emperor sends the kitchen god to report on households, which influences their fortunes for the coming year. This is the Thian Hock Keng Temple, also known as the Temple of Heavenly Happiness. It is one of the oldest and most historically significant Hokkien temples in Singapore. This temple was built in honor of Ma Zu Po, Mazu, the goddess of the sea, and served as an important place of worship for Chinese immigrants, particularly seafarers, in the 19th century. Built in 1842, the temple was the first place where Chinese immigrants would go to give thanks upon arriving safely in Singapore. Before the land reclamation projects, the temple sat directly on the coastline, and immigrants would pay homage to the sea goddess as soon as they landed. We're walking through a 5-foot-way corridor, a covered walkway that runs along the front of shophouses, usually about 5 feet wide, though the width can vary. This feature was introduced during Singapore's colonial period by Sir Stamford Raffles, who included it in his town planning to provide shaded, pedestrian-friendly walkways for both practical and social purposes. The covered corridor provides shelter from Singapore's tropical weather, protecting people from heavy rain or the harsh sun. This design reflects a thoughtful adaptation to the local climate. The distinctive upturned corners of the roof are typical of traditional Chinese architecture. These curves not only add aesthetic beauty, but are also believed to have spiritual significance, symbolizing the lifting of the roof to bring good fortune and protection from evil spirits. Dragons adorn the ridges of the roof, a common feature in Chinese temples. Dragons are a powerful symbol in Chinese culture, representing strength, prosperity, and protection. This is a historical mosque and shrine built between 1828 and 1830 by early South Indian Muslim immigrants. It was constructed in memory of Shahul Hamid, a 13th century Sufi saint from Nagore, Tamil Nadu, who was revered for his piety and miracles. Boon Tat Street is a popular spot for food lovers, especially during lunchtime when the street is bustling with office workers. It is home to a variety of eateries ranging from local hawker favorites to trendy restaurants. These blue bicycles belong to a bike-sharing service called Hello Ride. To use the service, users download the Hello Ride app, register an account, scan the bike's QR code to unlock it, and return it to a designated parking spot at the end of their ride. Cycling is a fun, convenient, and safe way to explore Singapore.